Hello, my dear students. Welcome back to English class. The title of our chapter is A Farmer's Greatest Treasure. This is a story written by Hema Pandey. Hema Pandey was born in Bharatpur, Rajasthan, and she went to Japan initially to learn Japanese painting, and she studied Japanese in Kolkata and found it extremely interesting, especially Japanese children's literature and their traditional folk tales, and her interest eventually inspired her to translate some of them into English and Hindi. So that's all about the author. Now let's begin the story. A farmer's greatest treasure. We are hungry. What shall we eat? There is nothing anywhere. All over the village, people were in distress. How gaunt and haggard they had all become. With drawn faces and trembling legs, they walked around digging for roots, searching for wild berries to control their hunger. It had been such a bad year, just when the wheat was ripening, yellow and tall. It had rained heavily every day. Although the farmers tried to save all they could, much of the golden wheat had turned black and rotted away. But when it was time to plant the rice seedlings, the rain stopped completely. Not a drop of rain fell. The tender green stalks shriveled up, and insects ate up the rest. So, A Farmer's Greatest Treasure by Hema Pandey is a story which recognizes the extreme act of sacrifice and acknowledges that way such an act has a positive impact on the entire community. So, here a Japanese village once experienced an extremely unfortunate year where on one hand and heavy rains inundated the entire village just when their sown wheat was about to ripen, making most of it black and rotten. And on the other hand, when the time had come to plant the rice seedlings, the rains had completely stopped, making the delicate green stalks to either become dry or become eaten up by insects. So, as a result of which the entire village was in distress, with people becoming emaciated and skinny because of hunger, and they had to resort to eating wild berries and dig for roots in order to control their hunger. So, when autumn came, there was neither wheat nor rice in all the villages for miles around, and the people were starving. So, when autumn came, the villagers starved since they neither had rice nor did they have wheat. In one of the worst affected villages, there lived a farmer affectionately called Masha San. His wife and son Isu tried to manage as best as they could. So, in one of the most affected areas of the village, there lived a farmer known as Masha San with his wife and son Iso. So, just like the others, they too had to manage the insufficiency. One day, Isu went inside their empty barn that once used to overflow with grain, searching for a shovel to dig for roots. He looked here and there, but not finding it, went further inside. Groping about in the dark, he suddenly stumbled against something large and heavy. "Ara, what this?" he cried, astonished on discovering a big full sack. Opening it, he pushed his hand inside. "Wheat, wheat!" he shouted, thrilled and amazed, as large grains of wheat slipped through his fingers. Father must have forgotten that he had a huge sack full of the finest wheat stored away in the barn, thought a delighted Isu. "Now we need not go hungry at least for a few days. Oh, what a feast there will be tonight." So, one day when Isu went inside their empty barn to search for a shovel, he went further inside, and he accidentally stumped on a large and heavy sack full of wheat. So by seeing this, he was surprised and shocked to see the grain full of finest wheat stored. And he deduced that his father must have kept it and then forgotten about it, and he then became extremely happy at the prospect of them not going hungry for a few days. Isu ran to his father. "Father," he shouted joyously, I have just found the sack of wheat you stored in the barn and forgot. Let's grind it at once. We can eat well for some days at least. Masha sprang up quickly. No, no, Isu, not that wheat, he cried, pulling his son's arm. Listen to me. No matter what happens, that grain must never be touched. I had deliberately stored away my best wheat to be used for sowing the next crop. Those are grain seeds, Isu. So, however, when he went back home and showed the sack full of wheat to his father and proposed to grind it and then eat it, Moshe sprang up and he said that whatever happened, the sack should not be touched any cost since they were grain seeds kept for sowing the next crop. But, stammered Isu as tears of hunger and disappointment filled his eyes. Father, other farmers have eaten their last grain. Why can't we eat ours instead of suffering terribly every day? He wept. So Isu became extremely disappointed on hearing his father's words, and with tears in his eyes, he questioned him that if all the others could eat their last grain, why couldn't they? That's all the more reason, my son, for not touching it, said Masha softly. It will be a far worse calamity than this famine if the fields of the all farmers lie fallow just because they have no wheat seeds to plant. These are not just seeds, I saw. They are a farmer's greatest treasure. If a farmer robbed his own treasure, what would remain for him? He continued. I know you are hungry, but so is everyone else. Have patience, I saw. Soon these very seeds will feed not only you but all the villagers. So Masha replied that it was all the more reason for not touching them. At present, they were facing difficulties, but if after the famine the fields lie empty with no seeds to be sown, then that would mean far was calamity. And he explained to his son that the grains were not just seeds, they were a farmer's greatest treasure, and if a farmer robbed his own treasure, then nothing would remain for him. And Masha requested Aishu to be patient since the grains would not only feed him but the entire village in the times to come. Hearing this, Aishu bowed his head in silence. Masha was extremely miserable to see his only child grow weak and thin every day. He poured half his share of watery gruel into Aishu's bowl, pretending not to be hungry. So, by hearing this, Aishu accepted his father's decision, but Aishu grew weak and pale with every passing day. Moshe, he was unable to see his son suffering every day, and he poured half of his share of watery gruel into his son's bowl, pretending that not to be hungry. So, as a result of which, he became extremely weak and lay in bed all the time. Soon autumn came again, and it was time to sow the new crop of it. Soon, when the autumn came and the time to sow the new crop of wheat had arrived. What shall we do? Cried the farmers. Where shall we get the seeds to sow our fields? Soon, when autumn came, the farmers were left overwhelmed with distress because they did not have any seeds to sow. Masha, old and weak, always lay in bed now, but now suddenly he seemed to find new strength to shuffle along to farms and to the homes of the villagers. I have plenty of wheat seeds in my house. Tell all the farmers that they can take these for the fields, he said. Arigato, thank you, Masha-san. Thanks for saving us, cried the happy villagers as their hearts overflowed with relief and hope. Dragging the sack of precious wheat seeds out of the barn, Masha doled it out to the delighted farmers. This is a farmer's greatest treasure, so please don't waste a single grain, he said. Closing the heavy barn door, he suddenly faltered and fell. So, at this point, Masha found renewed strength and asked all the farmers to use the wheat seeds which he had to sow in the fields, and he asked them not to waste a single grain since they were a farmer's greatest treasure. And the farmers were overwhelmed with joy and happiness by hearing this, and thanked Masha for saving their lives. Arigato is a Japanese phrase used to express gratitude, and it is a casual way of saying thank you. So, after giving away the grains and closing the barn, Masha faltered and fell in the arms of his son, never to get up again. Faltered means he lost strength and stopped moving. Masha, Masha, San cried, the anxious farmers, as they ran to pick him. Water screamed, I saw my father has fainted. But it was no use. In the arms of his son and surrounded by grief-stricken farmers, Masha, weakened by hunger, did not open his again. He was a real farmer, cried the sad villagers. He kept his own wheat seeds for us, so that all the villagers may have crops for the next year. Let's not forget him, for he has taught us the true value of a farmer's greatest treasure. Soon it was spring, and wheat fields green and lush smiled under a bright blue sky. The barns of all the farmers overflowed once more with new grain. So, after giving away the grains and closing the barn, Masha faltered and fell in the arms of his son, and he never to get up again. The villagers, on seeing his sacrifice, called him a real farmer who knew the true value of a farmer's greatest treasure, and he had taught the rest them the worth of his treasure. And the farmers promised to remember him all their lives. Soon, when spring came, the fields of the farmers witnessed the growth of lush green fields under the bright blue sky, and the barns overflowed with grain. So, this was possible because of the firm belief and foresight of Masha Sen, who was not only a great farmer but a remarkable visionary. So, the story introduces readers to a particular community and explains what serves as their lifeline, and the story also touches upon the selfless and courageous act of one individual whose idea, objective and foresight had the power to have a beneficial influence on the entire community. So that's all about the story. I think it is clear to you. See you in the next class. That's all for today. Thank you.